Welcome back everybody to the ESL Guns of Boom Go4 recap show. As time progresses, we start to see a significant difference in our broadcasted tournament results. It truly feels like as each week goes on, the gap in between the teams starts to grow shorter and shorter. In our out of the usual broadcast from the studio in Paris, we had an unexpected turn of events once again. This was for both Europe and North America. Here's the breakdown for those that missed it. Surprisingly, the Black Bulls did not make it into the top 4 this time round. It was in fact Overtake, the newer team, that crept into the runnings and took them out beforehand. They had to face one Titan to another, as their opponents in semi-finals were Jug Knights of Honor. An otherwise difficult task, but for this week, it just didn't seem so. A convincing 2-0 in Overtake's favour soared them into Grand Finals, facing off against yet another powerhouse in EU, back-to-back. In the Grand Finals, it came down to one player and one player alone, and his name was Killing Machine. This guy popped off harder than we've ever seen in the Go4s before it, consistently a top performer and consistently winning unthinkable fights to keep the objectives and obtain a spree to bag massive point bursts over and over again. In the final map, Atrium, Killing Machine displays a really interesting strategy, being as mindful as possible to obtain a killing spree, and when the spree has landed, he rushes into their spawn to go down as fast as possible, respawns, and obtains another killing spree as fast as he can. By the end of this map, after all of this, Atrium was still an insanely close result. By the final closing seconds, it was an exact mirror image of each other's scores, quite literally a few points difference closing things out, with back-to-back stealing the map away at the last possible second. Back-to-back remind us all why they're a top team in this community, and Killing Machine ends this tournament with his head held high. As you might expect in North America, we had hyped up in the finals for another time. However, this time in the Grand Finals, the other half was Yakuza USA. Everybody was waiting to see if the on-stream rampage of hyped up would continue, or if Yakuza could make the plays and give us a new North American champion for a change. As the maps traded back and forth, Yakuza take a 2-1 lead after Military Warehouse is clutched out. If there was a time for the big win, surely it had to be now. The Wild West Saloon was the destination for the final map, and boy did the teams have to work for it. For a chunk of this map, it seemed as though victory was at hand for Hyped Up, bringing us to a final map and keeping the streak alive. But then, with seconds left to spare, one group fight on the point goes sour as Yakuza cause an entire wipe of the point, snatch away a chunk of score, and keep the natural ticking points of the capture back in their favour. The fight was one thing, but the point capture was what secured the victory. Hyped Up's winning streak of the streamed finals ended here, and Yakuza USA ended the show as the North American champions. That just about wraps things up for another episode of the Go4 recap, and we definitely ended this show with a change in pace. Results are becoming more unpredictable across both regions, which is only ever a good thing. Of course, the real test will be the Season 1 finals in November, where we draw closer and closer to finding out who the world champion team is going to be. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next Guns of Boom Go4.